Hey everyone, and welcome to our second episode of our podcast here at Wall Street English Tunisia. Today's topic is English for the future, and today we have with us Sara Sandid, one of our most inspiring educators and teachers. Welcome, Sara.
Hi Ahmed, thank you so much for welcoming me again here. It's always a pleasure to come and talk about such deeply interesting topics, especially when it comes to English nowadays.
Great. So English nowadays, as you mentioned, has become something more important and more greater than a subject that we only learn at schools or universities. So my first question is, Sara, you have been teaching for quite some years now. So how did English change the lives of some of your students?
It's a very good question. Actually, I taught in different countries and not only in Tunisia, and I can tell for sure that English is taking over the world. It has been always the case, and it's always going to be the case, I guess, because it's such a global language. It's the language of business. It's the language to communicate with different cultures, and so it's really necessary to know at least basic English for some people. To do certain basic things, but it's definitely going to step up your future if you want to improve your career, if you want to be more and not more, I mean, if you want to be something or someone with great
skills, with the great network and global level, maybe.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Yeah, we are welcome. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree on that. As you mentioned, now English is the dominant language worldwide. I think it's the most spoken language in the world. I don't remember the number exactly, but it's a few billions that that speak that language. So everything, technologies, everything new is mainly in English. LinkedIn posts, Zoom calls with international clients and partners. So everything is in English.
Yeah. It's actually called lingua franca in the linguistic. It's a linguistic term.
Lingua
franca. Yes. Okay. It means that it's a language that is used everywhere in different fields, and it facilitates communication between people. So.
Yeah, that's a new word. That's a new word for me, and I hope that's a new word for our audience also. Let's not forget that the ability to speak English and the ability to communicate all of those people that we mentioned, all those different field of studies and topics, must give people some sort of confidence.
Right. It's very important. I mean, speaking of an example that I had the other day, after finishing a business workshop with one of the students, and she came to me, she was asking about certain things on the platform and everything, and then she told me, you know, when I first came to Wall Street, and we'll talk about that later, she said that what drove her to come to Wall Street is because she had to sit for 2 interviews, and in these 2 interviews she was asked in English, and she felt super frustrated because she couldn't respond to certain questions because she didn't have enough vocabulary and the structures were not correct and everything, and so she made it like a challenge for herself to learn English, to improve herself in the speaking, and so that she can sit for these interviews. I mean, and she did after that, and she was super proud of herself. And you can tell that with our method, people can see the progress. Like it's a visible progress. It's like something that they can really feel.
Feel it.
Yes,
exactly.
It's not the traditional method of learning, and definitely works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of examples of those. And for us as teachers working for Wall Street, it's such a proud moment. It's like seeing your child growing, and every time they tell us, you know, I had to sit for this interview, or I was accepted for this very big international company and such, it's like we want to hug them. we truly say, like, in some cases, these people are older than us, you know, but you feel like they are your child, and you're like, okay, I'm very happy to see that, to see them proud of themselves and feeling confident in speaking, because it's very important. Imagine you are trying to pitch an idea of a certain project that you're working on. However, you have to pitch it in English, and if you do not know the language, even though your idea is amazing and brilliant and everything, but however, the lack of communication will make you feel less confident, and so you won't be able to truly like
deliver the right message. Exactly. Now you are talking about pitching in English, and I remember in my university years I was really active in clubs, but also other organizations, and we pitched a lot of ideas, and mainly all of them were in English. So actually, because one of the information that they once told us, and it really stuck in my head, is when you do presentation, even if you have the best idea, it's like 60 or 70% of that presentation is about communication.
Exactly.
It's about delivering the good message, the confidence is important, everything is important. Yeah, the technical stuff is good, but that's like 20 to 30% of what people will receive.
Definitely, yes.
Exactly. So going back to what we were talking about, so you already mentioned some of the example here at Student at Wall Street English Tunisia. And I want to focus on the method. So you said it's a blended method, it's different from other centers. Can you give us little hints, little examples?
I mean, the blended method, it's definitely what makes us different than other competitors, let's say. It's because the students, they study on the platform, yes, but they do a lot of communication even with the platform. So there are a lot of there's like what we call it, the voice recognition.
Technology. Exactly.
And so they're asked to sometimes repeat certain sentences. They are asked to answer certain questions while talking to the...
Sorry to interrupt. So if I understood correctly, so even when they are studying alone on the platform, they are speaking.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So you're not required to have a teacher in front of you to be able to communicate. We do have that, of course, but then for the part where you're studying by yourself, you're actually communicating with AI, and so that's one part of it. And then when it comes to the evaluation part of what you study on the platform and everything, you'll be communicating with other peers, with your teacher, through practice, through role plays, through different scenarios. And the scenarios are taken from real life situations, and so the students can relate to these scenarios for sure, and they're like, oh, I've been in this situation before and I didn't know how to respond and handle the situation. So that's definitely what makes it the best method, I think.
I think that's really interesting, Sarah, and my takeaway here is the key word is practice. So it's all about practice, about putting students in real life situations. And I think with this combination we can see some progress.
Definitely. I mean, now on top of my head there's this student, she's a doctor, and she, I think, also a university teacher, and she gives a lot of seminars, and she goes to conferences all around the world. And one time she sent us a message saying that in one of these conferences she had to present a paper, or I don't remember what, like she had a presentation basically, and she was so proud of herself because she delivered it all in English, and that was not the case before. And she, like, the fact that she's proud of herself makes us proud of her, and so definitely.
And that was after how many months of learning?
I think she studied with us for like around 6 months.
Okay.
And after those 6 months, she was able to.
You can see some progress.
Yes, definitely. It's guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Yes.
Great. So Sara, as a teacher and a program manager here with us at Wall Street English Tunisia, can you give us some advices for people who want to learn English? Can you give us some few advices? Well, personally, I advise them to come and learn with us here at Wall Street English. But before that, what can they do? And we are already talking about the future, and the topic is English for the future, and we cannot go without mentioning AI. So, what is your position about AI teachers and people learning English only with AI?
You asked me so many questions at once.
No problem. So let's start with the first one. What do you think about people learning English with artificial intelligence, not with human teachers?
Okay, so as teachers, we were a little bit skeptical and maybe even worried that maybe AI will take over our places and we will be unemployed. But for sure, the human connection that no AI will take that away from people, because whether we like it or not, human beings are sociable beings, and so exactly, and people need human interaction, even if it's online because maybe of the distance or something. But there is a human connection, there is a human interaction, and so Wall Street provides that. And so AI, even if you want to talk with AI, AI or ChatGPT can understand you, but it will not replace the human being in human being interactions. As for advices, we get asked a lot by our students, even the ones who are enrolled with us at Wall Street English. We get asked a lot about this subject, and I always tell them that I learned English just like you. I'm not a native speaker of English, but I learned English going to school. And though I did fall in love with the language at first sight, I made sure that I did everything else in English. So what I do is, for example, I print lyrics of songs and I would sing along because I loved singing. And for example, if we're chatting with someone, even if they're writing in this broken Arabic or in French or a different language, I always respond in English. And I used to have a diary where I write in English. Even now I see my mistakes that I did, and it's so funny to read them. You can always change your settings, like your phone settings or your laptop settings, or even both, to English. What else comes to my mind now?
I think
you can watch podcasts, or there's like audio books on YouTube.
Exactly.
You can listen to it. It's very important because listening is half of the learning, really, because you need to listen first. There's an input that you need to get from the language, and then you will start to produce the language. So the producing of the language comes last. It doesn't come first. So most of the people, they think, oh, in one night they would be speaking English. It doesn't happen that way. It's not a magical tool. There's no magical tool to learning any language, really. And so it takes time, but you have to also surround yourself with the language. Otherwise, you will not learn it as fast as you want.
Yeah, exactly. And the last part that you mentioned is all about listening. It's always come to me an example of an infant and a baby learning to speak, learning the language. It's the same thing. At first, they are exposed to that language. They hear that language all day, and after some time, they will pick up few words, few syllables, and they will start speaking. It's the same thing.
Yes, that's called in this linguistics terms. That's called acquiring a language, not learning a language, because our brain is wired to make sentences by itself once it understands the grammar behind it. So it's truly amazing. And if you are a person who wants to know more about this, you can always read about Noam Chomsky. He came up with this theory and the acquiring and the learning of languages, and so you can make a research about it, and it will be also even better for people who want to know more.
Yeah, great. Or maybe we can make that our next topic for
Sure.
our next podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Sarah. So I think this concludes today's podcast. And just one final advice from me: audiobooks really works. So the last book that I'm listening now, this was actually a suggestion from Sarah, is Things Fall Apart. And what was the name of the author? Yeah, that's why I didn't say it. So it's really interesting, so I advise you to go and listen to it. You will learn English, but you will also learn new vocabulary.
Definitely.
Sarah, thank you very much for your time. Do you have anything to say to our audience?
Always a pleasure. I would like to say that I am an advocate of English learning. I think, and it's truly, like English took over my life, basically. So I'm even speaking English with my family. I'm speaking English with my friends, and even my accent changed in Arabic. So people now think I am a foreigner. But it's always fun, and I found myself in this language. I can express myself way better than expressing myself in my own native language, which is something super fascinating for me and for other people that know this fact. And fall in love with the language. Don't make it a task. It's, if you love something, you will do it. If you don't, then it's always going to look like a task, and it's like an obligation and the burden. So you will not be motivated for it. However, if you want and you really invest in it, it will be something normal, let's say.
Great. Thank you, Sarah, very much. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today, and see you next time.